What's going on, guys? It's your boy Worthy Prince coming at you with another Lords Mobile video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the top 5 mistakes that new players in Lords Mobile make, and make sure you stay for the final mistake as that one could be the most costly for your account. So without further ado, let's get into it. Mistake number 1 that many new players do when they start playing Lords Mobile is they do the wrong research trees. So you're going to open up this research building eventually, and inside you're going to have multiple different trees that you can access and start doing research on. Of course, research uses speed ups and it uses resources as well. So you want to focus primarily on things like economy, military, monster hunt, possibly even coming down and working on some of your subsidies in the early part of the game. The big mistake that a lot of new players do, and this is not just free-to-play players, this is pay-to-play players as well, is they start working on their defense tree. So this tree right here, the defense tree 1 and also defense tree 2 right here. There's a lot of research in here which will eat through your speeds and resources, add a load of might that you don't need, and most importantly, do nothing for your account. Defense used to be a thing where the wall actually gave you some kind of benefit, where you could potentially increase the HP significantly on this thing, put the right heroes and gear and jewels and stuff, and you might actually be able to do a pretty good defense with your wall. But now the wall is useless. So don't waste your time, effort, resources and speed ups on the defense trees, because you're really going to regret that if you do that early on. Mistake number 2 is to do with your guild coins and generally your consumables like speed ups, holy stars, tokens, resources, those kinds of things. You can see here I've currently got 7.6 million guild coins. This has been collected over the last month that I've been playing on my free-to-play account, and I'm going to be saving those to get things as and when I get certain events come up that benefit me to use those guild coins. For example, right now Guild Fest is on, and there are quests that are over 100 points for using 500,000 guild coins. Had I have used all my guild coins, I wouldn't be able to take those quests, and so having these guild coins it makes my Guild Fest experience a little bit more easier as a free-to-play player. And it goes for pay-to-play players too. You really should use your guild coins as and when events come up, and that's not just these. I'm talking about like your consumables like speed ups, resources, tokens, holy stars. Like, do it when hell events are on, you know. I mean, it's always good to use those things when hell events are on, like things like tokens for Tycoon, holy stars, even your speed ups for research and stuff. Use it when a hell event is on, because you're going to be getting things like watcher medals, which are in right now. You're also going to be getting gems and boxes and all sorts of stuff, and it doesn't look like a lot of prizes. In fact, it's kind of stingy, of course, right? But they do add up. Like, if you do like a bunch of work on your account using your consumables and you don't do it with hell events, you're just getting the thing done, that's it. But let's just say, for example, I do 5 watcher events instead. Well, I'm going to be picking up a bunch of watcher medals. I'm getting almost 10,000 gems. I'm getting a bunch of boxes as well, and speed ups that help with other stuff. So although it doesn't look like a lot, and sometimes it really isn't, it does add up. So all I'm saying is, with your consumables like speed ups, resources, tokens, stars, guild coins, make sure you always use them in and around events to get the most out of them. Mistake number 3 for a new player to Lords Mobile is to do with gear. Now, one of the things I see a lot of players doing is pre-level 60, because obviously a lot of decent gear opens up at level 60. Pre-level 60, I see a lot of people building gear that they're just never really going to use in the long run. So what gear should you prioritize when it comes to, you know, starting up an account in Lords Mobile? You should initially focus on the admin stuff immediately, like your construction gear. Use your mats to build the construction gear up as best as you can. Also with the research, you want to do that too. The flutes are extremely important on research, and like I said, the construction ones, the sentinel circlets, these things are extremely good for your construction too. So you really should be using your free-to-play mats on those. Don't stress out too much about war gear. Like back in the day, I would have said start working on your free-to-play war gear set. Things, I've got some of it built on my account, like, you know, the armor of the abyss was a good one. Things like the lunar scimitar is pretty good. Like, these are some of the free-to-play bits that you get, which I'd always recommend for you to start building. The thing is, Lords Mobile's changed a lot over the last few years, and getting good gear actually is not that difficult nowadays as a free-to-play player. So I wouldn't be using too many of these mats. I built some of it to start off with, just so I could have a few stats to help me with some darknests and stuff like that. But you're not really ever going to want to take a hit or do any kind of defense or attacks with this gear on. So what you're going to want to do instead is actually start using your mats on gear that's going to actually matter. You can see here, I've already tagged a bunch of the level 60 gear that I'm actually working on already. And yes, although look, some of it is blue and green, a lot of this is ready to go up with the ultra rares. You see this? I'm already at a blue beast helm 1 month in on a free-to-play account, which is actually wild. And then you're looking at this, you're also looking at a blue firewall, halfway almost to a purple firewall. Same goes for the blight ring. We're at blue, just need some of the other items. So a lot of this stuff is ready to go to blue. And a couple of pieces are getting even closer to purple. I mean, this one's ready to go to blue. We're already 2 out of 8 for purple. So that's a month in. So, and this gear at blue grade will be, for the most part, better than a lot of the free-to-play stuff you can use. There is some exceptions, like for example, a mythic lunar scimitar probably outperforms a blue mitts until the mitts maybe get to purple, but that's just an exception. The point I'm trying to make is, don't use all your mats on building subpar level 60 gear. A couple of really good examples of where people go wrong is things like the Bon Appetit, when you see people building the level 55 hedonic cuirass. Very, very tempting to do because it's a level 55 piece of gear. You don't need to get to that level 60 to wear it. It does have pretty good stats as well, but the problem is you'll need your halos for your cup, and if you burn out halos on this hedonic cuirass, you're hella gonna regret it when it comes to building the actual cup itself. And there are a few pieces of gear in there, or a few different like pieces of gear that people build that really do mess them up when they're trying to build other stuff. Another good one is the Queen Bee. Honeycomb chaps are really good. Like, they're a really good free-to-play piece of gear, but if you're a free-to-play player, you don't really want to use your buzzing husks, and you don't really want to use your bee chrysalis on this. And why is that? Because nowadays you can pick up venoms pretty easily in the game as a free-to-play. You can see here, I've not built this yet, but I have the gray, I have the green, I have a blue bumble helm already a month in. But you see, I need these other items, and if I use all these other items on the honeycomb chaps, it's going to be even longer before I can possibly unlock my blue bumble helm that I'm ready to do almost. So all I'm saying is, make sure you prioritize your level 60 gear with your monster drops, and the normal admin mats. Don't go too heavy initially on all of the free-to-play war gear trying to push stats. Get your admin gear in place, because that admin gear is going to be extremely helpful when you're doing research. You're going to want those flutes upgraded, and the same goes for your construction set. You're going to want those sentinel circlets upgraded to reduce those construction times. Mistake number 4 is just upgrading the wrong heroes. Okay, I see a lot of people going into the hero area and unlocking things like Death Knight and literally maxing them out off the rip. And I mean, someone that hasn't got any attack stats is just not a good idea. He's also bad in hero stages, Colosseum. Not a good hero to upgrade. Now, if you're going to be upgrading heroes, make sure you go ahead and look at ones which have good attack stats as well as HP. You know, those are the ones you want if you're pushing and you want war heroes. Rose Knight is obviously an amazing hero, very good in hero stages, Colosseum, and just great for fighting with. Bombing Goblin's also a pretty good one too. But what I think everybody makes the mistake with and should really do at the start of their new account is basically working on Trickster. Trickster is really important. He's giving you big research boosts as you upgrade him, up to 25%, as well as Monster Hunt quality of life as well with energy boost and regen. And someone like Scarlet Bolt's also giving you some energy max boost and construction speed. So it is very important to make sure we do work on these admin heroes. So when you're leveling up your castle levels to 25, when you're working on those researches, those boosts are really going to come in handy. So again, just make sure you don't upload the wrong ones. I don't want to see any gold shades out there for new accounts. I mean, this is probably one of the worst heroes in Lords Mobile. Wall defense, trap building speed, infantry defense.
That is one big pile of shit.
So he's also bad in Colosseum, and he's bad I mean, I say he's bad in Coliseum. Sometimes he can be good, but I mean, let's be honest, Shade's pretty bad. So stay away from this hero until the end. If you've maxed everything else out and you're free to play, and then you're like, oh, then it's time for Shade. But yeah, sorry to cast Shade on Shade, but yeah, no, he's actually really bad, so don't be leveling that up. So yeah, pick the right heroes, guys. And now moving on to the final error that a lot of players make, and this doesn't just go to free-to-play players, this goes to pay-to-play players as well of all levels. There is a massive mistake that a lot of people do in Lords Mobile, and I think this is probably the biggest one, and it will save you so many gems by not making this mistake. And if you've already made this mistake, I mean, I'm sorry to tell you about this one. A lot of you might not even know about this one, but check this out. There are some buildings you need to upgrade for tier 4, okay? You need to upgrade your battle hall, you need to upgrade your prison, okay? And you also need to upgrade the altar. All right, now when you go into these buildings, you're going to click on them, and as you go to upgrade, you're going to see that you need something called a war tome for the battle hall, you need cuffs for the prison, you need the crystals, soul crystals for the altar. Now if you go into the gem store over here, okay, so we're now in the normal gem mall over here, right, and go to unique and then scroll down, you can buy these for your account. It's fantastic, right? There they are, look. There's the tomes, there's the steel cuffs, there's the soul crystals, the pickaxes, they're all there, right? But here's the problem. Take a look at the price of the gems inside the gem mall. The war tome costs 15 gems inside here. So if you were to buy 1,000 of these, okay? If you were to come in here right now and buy 1,000 of these war tomes, that's going to cost you 15,000 gems to purchase this from the actual gem mall itself, okay? But here's the crazy thing. If you go over to the building, right, and click upgrade, and instead of going into the gem mall, if you click the red plus next to where the tome is, you can see here that we can get the same 1,000 tomes for 10,000 gems, which is 50% cheaper than the actual gem mall.
Fuck.
Now, a lot of old players, veterans, they'll know this, but new players, some of you new players might actually miss this. But yeah, it's actually 50% cheaper by doing it through the building, and it goes for all of them. If you go over to the prison as well and click on the plus, you can see there 10,000 gems. So it's actually crazy how much cheaper it is. And the same thing I think goes for this too, although I can't click the plus. And this is, oh no, there we go, got it. So it's 14,000 gems for a 1,000 pickaxes from inside the building. And you don't need the plus, you can just click it. You can just click it there. If you see I've got my mouse here, right? You click on it and you will just click on the item and it comes up. So you don't necessarily need to have the red plus there. Just click where it says the pickaxe thing, requirements, hit the number underneath it, and bang, it will come up. So just letting you know, you don't necessarily need the red plus to click it, okay? But yeah, 14,000 gems for 1,000 pickaxes. And if we go down to the mall and take a look in here, they're even more than the other ones, right? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they are. Look, they're 20 gems each in here. So 1,000 of these bad boys is going to put you back 20,000 gems. So it's actually 6,000 gems cheaper for every 1,000. Every 1,000 from the actual building itself. So obviously you need lots of these to get these buildings done, multiple thousands. So if you're saving 5,000 gems per 1,000, that's a shit ton of gems you're going to save yourself. So yeah, that's a massive thing to know in Lords Mobile when you're upgrading your pay-to-play buildings for your tier 4. And ultimately, the biggest mistake that new players make that costs you the most amount of gems. I wasn't lying at the start of the video. Anyway, that's my top 5 tips for new players in Lords Mobile. If you've got any really good tips that you think are important that people should know, go ahead and leave it down in the comments to help the community out. And that's all I got for you today on this video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, stay safe, everyone, and of course, peace out.